Greetings, viewers. This is Ian, and I'm really bored of recording Pac-Man stuff for my channel, so I thought I would do something else. So I'm gonna just chill out, play one of my favorite games on the Wii, Trauma Center Second Opinion, which is an interesting game to say the least. It's a surgery simulator, but not exactly like surgery simulator like that game. It's quite different. It's definitely its own thing. It's a very interesting launch title for the Wii. Made by Atlas, which of course means it's not a very easy game. Here you have this... Basically, it's a trailer. I hate the intro to this game. Shows Caduceus medical research facilities. Stuff you don't see until the very end of the game. Some guilt. All this will make more sense later on. Naomi Weaver. Not a whole lot to say about this. I'm just gonna skip. New game, normal. Place it right there. That'll do. The characters and events depicted in this game are fictitious. Well, I would assume so. You'll see why later. This is the most over-the-top medical drama ever. Hope Hospital, downtown Angeles Bay, which is essentially Los Angeles, and they claim this game takes place in the US, but it's so obviously Japan. You can really tell that they just did an awkward localization with it. So the way this game's set up is mission by mission. If it's got a slash through it, the mission, that means there's an operation in it, which is gameplay. Otherwise, it's just a story mission, which, it's alright. Got nothing against those. I mean, not huge on them. So we're in Hope Hospital, which is where the game starts out. This is Mary. She's our nurse. For the first few operations, she's just sort of your assistant. She'll tell you things that you need to know about the operation that you could totally figure out yourself. This is Dr. Castle. He contributes absolutely nothing to the story. Like, literally nothing. He's completely worthless, but he's still there. Derek is our protagonist. Derek Styles, DS. Get it? The first game that this is a remake of was on the DS. Ha ha ha. Good job, Atlas. I guess Mary's annoyed at us. I don't know. The plot doesn't really pick up for a few more missions. You don't learn anything about your character here. So this guy was in a motorcycle accident, and you just gotta suture up all the lacerations in his arms, open them up, and then extract the glass from inside him. It's a pretty simple game.
Let's begin.
So here we're introduced to the suturing tool, which essentially it just lets you close up wounds by stitching them shut. That was really bad, but it's pretty simple stuff. Everything is done with the IR pointer on the Wii remote, so wherever you point, that's where your surgical tools are going to be at. It's simple, but it works incredibly well. These are the 4 steps you remove objects from people using the A and B buttons. And then the most science fiction thing ever, antibiotic gel. It's gel that cures everything. It just stop bleeding, it'll shut wounds, it'll disinfect an area. It's ridiculous. The scalpel, it's a scalpel, I'm sure you can figure it out. It cuts things. You have to be careful with the scalpel because it'll lower your vitals. The vitals are the meter at the top here. It's your patient's life meter. If that hits 0, it's game over. Or if the time limit hits 0, it's game over. It's not particularly difficult at this point in the game, and the time limit's never really an issue, I find, but the vitals, those can be really bad at times.
Dr. Styles.
I don't really have too much to say at this operation because there's not really anything to it. This is probably the worst game ever to live commentary because it's hard. This game gets really challenging. I'm playing it on normal, but, I mean, I probably got like a B. This game has a ranking system a la Sonic the Hedgehog. And I suck at Trauma Center. I'm terrible at it. It's a great game. But I am really bad. I like the fact that Derek's sort of just flirting. Derek's a great character. He's a total jerk. He's sort of... You almost want to slap him in the early operations, but he gets better as time goes on. He's kind of an idiot, but you just... He's a lovable idiot, in a way. Just sort of a jerk-off kind of guy. here we're getting introduced to basically what you're going to be doing this entire game, which would be tumors. They're one of the main focuses up until you hit guilt, which we'll get talking about when we get to it. Derek isn't paying attention. Derek sort of sucks. He's not a very good doctor. He's just, yeah, Mary's being a jerk, but Derek deserves it. He's really rude. Like, he doesn't pay any attention. That obviously gets fixed later on, but yeah. It's just all exposition stuff at this point. That's why I'm skipping through it. The plot doesn't really pick up yet. Basically, it's just saying Mary is hinting that she's leaving, and Derek's like, okay, whatever. He doesn't figure that out yet. Derek's development doesn't pick up until after he meets Nurse Angie, who shows up. It's not the next chapter, but it's one of the sooner ones. This game's soundtrack is incredible, just saying.
Let's begin.
So, just the beginning of almost every operation, you can cut open your patient.
What are you doing?
That was really bad. That's one thing I do a lot in this game, is if you screw up the initial, whatever that L word is, that means cut people open, you can just restart the operation to try and save your rank. Because I'm going for S ranks as much as I can. I probably won't get very many, but I'm trying.
Let's begin.
So, at the beginning of operations, you just disinfect, and then you cut open with a scalpel. We don't have access to all of our tools, but I believe this is the mission where we do. This is stabilizer.
Dr. Stiles.
This cures everything. It's just adds 12 vitals, I believe,
Doctor?
per use. Here's a tumor using the Powell method, which is you use the ultrasound to find, then you cut them out, then you drain them of this
That's good.
goop, cut them out with the scalpel,
You did very well.
remove
That's
them,
good.
and then place a pad over it,
Dr. Stiles.
and then you just disinfect that, and it
Treatment complete.
meshes to it. I don't know how I screwed that up. These early operations aren't particularly interesting, but they do a good taste of what the game is
Good
like.
job, Dr. Stiles.
This game really shines in the department of controls. The precision you get with the Wii remote is just incredible, really. Like, you would never expect a Wii game to have so much precision whenever it's so heavily reliant on it. I think this is the launch title that I think best demonstrates the Wii as a console. It doesn't have widescreen, though. That's why I'm playing it on a smaller TV like this. It doesn't have widescreen. So you can't really... It doesn't fill the screen as much as I'd like, which I think is kind of stupid. I think the sequels are widescreen. I'm not sure. I have not played New Blood or Trauma Team, but I'm pretty sure those are widescreen. So yeah, Mary's leaving. Which... Dr. Castle's just like, whatever, bruh. But Derek's really sad. He's heartbroken. She's like his hospital mother, and Castle, get that grin off your face. Ugh. Aww. She's such a jerk to Derek. Nobody likes you, Derek. This is Dr. Hoffman. He's the director of the hospital. Yeah. He's just sort of sending her off. He's not really important in the story. Even whenever later on they try to make him important in the story, they really don't do a good job. He's just not. So this is your last operation with Mary. After this, you have a new nurse, who's an awesome character. I love Nurse Angie, but we'll get to her when we get to her. This is just another tumor operation. There's a ton of these. Well, they're more like parts of later operations. There aren't very many operations that are just tumors. At least not that I can remember.
Starting the operation.
But yeah, so I believe the vitals are lower in this operation. They start off now they're at 99. At the beginning of an operation, if the vitals are lower, they won't go down until you cut them open. So you could just take that time to, use the stabilizer to raise the vitals.
Good luck.
This blue fluid is used to get rid of these inflammations. Tumors are really quite easy to take care of once you get the hang of them. Like, even if you don't have the hang of them, they aren't particularly difficult.
Dr. Stiles.
You just,
one more left.
well, you just do that over and over. They're kind of tedious, actually, I find. But, you know, whatever.
You did very well.
I believe that's all the tumors.
It's simple.
Yeah, that's all of them. This is a really... The earlier operations aren't particularly interesting, and wow, the suturing in this game is kind of funny. At times, you can, like... Sometimes you'll do a perfect thing, and it'll give you a bad, and you're like, what? And then sometimes you'll do, like, a square or something that doesn't even make any sense, and it'll give you a great, or a cool, rather. So I don't quite understand this game at times. But oh well, that probably wraps it up for now. So, next part, we going on to meet our new nurse. See you then.